Hey, welcome to EPN. My name is Victor Lucas, and we bring you the latest in everything cool every single day. These days, directly from the bustling hive of my basement, where lots of video game entertainment is always going on. Isn't that right, Ruby?
Yeah.
That's right. In fact, we want to dedicate this rundown to all of you video game developers out there who have figured out how to stay at home, isolated, safe, but also continue work on lots of fantastic entertainment for us. We sure do need video games now more than ever, and we are greatly appreciative of your talents and your creativity and all the fun that you provide the world. So thank you, video game industry. Let's get started with your rundown. It looks like someone has hit the WWE 2K franchise on the back of the head with a chair because we won't be getting a new one this year. WWE Inc. has confirmed that this year's WWE 2K21 has been canceled. They revealed the news while speaking with investors, and although no reason for the cancellation has been given, it might have something to do with the fact that last year's WWE 2K20 was panned by pretty much everyone. That game was handled by 2K's own internal studio, Visual Concepts, rather than longtime WWE developer Yuke's. As for what's next with WWE games, 2K says that they'll be sharing new details on the future of the franchise next week, so they might just be taking a year off, or they might be developing some other kind of new game to replace WWE 2K21 this year. I'm not the hugest wrestling fan in the world. I've always sort of relied on Jose Sanchez to kind of cover that scene for us, but it broke my heart that so many people were really down on 2K20. I think it's a great move whenever you make massive transitions like this, and I don't know what the politics are behind this. I don't know who got hurt or stung. I just know that people were not happy, and when you've got a situation like that where your customers and your fan base is just like, what are you doing? The best thing to do is to just, take some time off and think about everything that you're putting together and try to come up with a new strategy. Hopefully, what happens through all of this is that maybe if it's, some kind of misalignment between 2K and Yuke's, and I don't know what went down, maybe there are developers that love this franchise that have worked on WWE games for a long time. Maybe they can be part of, a new development group that works on whatever comes next. But best of luck, all you wrestling fans out there. I know the ride to be a wrestling game fan kind of goes like this, There are some really great ones, but I know there are some really crappy ones, and it sounds like WWE 2K20 was one of the worst.
Don't trust anybody.
Hackers have found a very effective way to infiltrate the Switch. Nintendo has confirmed that around 160,000 Switch accounts have been hacked. Reports of the hack first surfaced earlier this week, with users complaining of unauthorized purchases on their accounts, and now Nintendo has confirmed that a hack did occur. The good news is that they've already fixed the problem. Hackers were able to exploit a security vulnerability in the older Nintendo Network IDs used on the 3DS and Wii U, and then use that data to log into the more current Nintendo accounts. The company has now disabled Nintendo Network IDs on the Switch, so the hackers won't be able to use them anymore. They've also sent out automatic password resets to accounts that might have been affected, and anyone who finds an unauthorized purchase on their account can get a full refund. This is, par for the course. The scumbags out there who are sitting at home thinking of how can they effectively scumbag in this new world are finding all kinds of ways to dive into people's data and to steal from them, and it's despicable, and I hate people that think like that. People like that are really scum of the earth. This is a time for the planet and everybody that lives on this planet to come together and be nice to each other and respect each other and take care of each other. It's not the time to be a scumbag hacker and dig into people's Nintendo accounts. So I think that's awful. So what you should do is you should definitely put two-factor authentication on your Switch accounts and your Nintendo accounts if you haven't done that already. I did that actually not too long ago, and I feel a little bit better because of it. It makes things a little bit more complicated, but there are a lot of scumbag hackers out there that want to dive into your data. So what else can you do these days? Netflix is breaking out some new pocket monsters to catch subscribers. The streaming giant has caught the exclusive rights to release the latest season of the Pokemon anime series in the US. The new season, known as Pokemon Journeys, was first released in Japan last year and is based around the latest game in the franchise, Pokemon Sword and Shield, so it features new characters like Score Bunny alongside familiar favorites like Pikachu. This isn't the first time Netflix has partnered with the Pokemon Company. They already have several older Pokemon anime adventures, and earlier this year, they released the recent Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. As for what the future might hold, there have been rumors for the last few years that Netflix is trying to work with Nintendo to produce new live-action adaptations of their iconic franchises, like The Legend of Zelda. Nothing has materialized so far, but all these new Pokemon deals are certainly deepening their ties with the company. We're gonna have to have some movie nights and watch some of this Pokemon stuff, eh, kiddo? Absolutely.
Ready to rock, Pikachu? Pikachu!
Netflix is one of the biggest entertainment companies on the planet. They've got a lot of muscle and a lot of pull, and if they partner with Nintendo, that is just going to see explosive gains, an explosive rise in new ways to get to people, especially if they make great live-action adaptations. We saw with Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog, people are raring to go to the movie theaters to watch some of these beloved characters. And then there's the Nintendo Universal theme park stuff that's happening as well, all very exciting. Nintendo is playing for keeps with its characters and its properties, and mark my words, I think Nintendo is going to be the next MCU. I think we're going to see the equivalent of the Smash Brothers universe with all of those amazing characters infiltrate years and years and years of movies that are all sort of crisscrossing across the multitude of universes that Nintendo has crafted for us. And I'm excited by that, especially if it's done with that same level of care and love and pedigree. And movies like Detective Pikachu and Sonic the Hedgehog kind of hint that this stuff is possible, and we're going to get to see some incredible linear narrative work with these characters.
I'm really psyched to learn what our next adventure will be.
Several big movies have skipped theaters and gone straight to digital during this pandemic, but one big studio is committed to the theatrical experience. Warner Brothers is still planning to release their tentpole movies like Wonder Woman 1984 and Christopher Nolan's Tenet on the big screen. In a statement to The Hollywood Reporter, Warner Brothers CEO Ann Sarnoff says that they're committed to the full theatrical experience and will be releasing those films in theaters this summer or whenever theaters reopen. That seems to indicate that they might have to keep delaying these new films in order to make sure that they can actually be released in theaters. Wonder Woman 1984 has already been pushed back to August, while Tenet is still scheduled for July 17th, but that might change depending on how long the pandemic lasts. Either way, it's safe to say that Warner Brothers won't be dumping those films on digital.
Welcome to the afterlife.
I don't think we should be thinking about the terminology here as dumping these things on digital. Trolls World Tour, which admittedly is a much more family-friendly and kind of safe choice for digital distribution, made Universal a ton of money when it was launched. It made a lot of money because people were ready to sit down and hunker down in their living rooms and plunk down that $20 or $25, whatever it cost to rent it, and it was still cheaper than going out to the theaters. I suspect that this pandemic is going to go for a while still, and I suspect that we're going to get a second wave, and I suspect that people are going to be very, very judicious with the amount of time that they spend in public places like movie theaters for a long time to come. I totally get what Warner Brothers is saying, but I feel like the idea of launching these big tentpole movies in theaters is from a time that existed and a time that has to come back. I don't feel like people are going to feel too comfortable having their temperatures taken by electronic gizmos and having to wear masks and having to sit, 5 seats away from everybody else in a movie theater is going to be the most welcoming reality for people. And I don't think that it makes sense to hold back these movies for years and years. I know that, what's happening right now is that there's a lot of halts on production, and it's causing all kinds of ripple effects in the delivery schedules and the release schedules of a lot of these films. So delaying the release of movies that are pretty much complete, like Wonder Woman 1984 and Tenet, makes sense because they're kind of staggering when people are going to want to see these things. But I don't know about waiting for movie theaters to open up again. I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. How do you guys feel about the big studios saying, you know what, let's get these movies out to people. People want to see Wonder Woman 1984. They want to see Tenet. They want to see Dune. They want to see Black Widow. They want to see Mulan. Let's let them rent them at home. How would you feel about that? Or do you want these studios to say, no, it's very important that we all get back together in movie theaters again. I just want people to be safe. The pandemic has put big sporting events on hold, but another one is coming together in video game form. EA Sports has announced the NHL Player Gaming Challenge, where 50 real-life NHL players will compete against each other in the NHL 20 video game. The matches will take place throughout the month of May, with the games being broadcast live on NBC Sports as well as on the web, with viewers able to donate to the CDC Foundation's COVID-19 relief efforts. Several other big sports have already started doing the same thing with their video game counterparts. The real-life NHL season was almost over when the pandemic broke out in North America, and the league hasn't said when it might resume. I think this is great. I've talked about this a little bit. I think that, gathering around the athletes who are sitting there waiting for when they might go back into competition again. And we know that they're all players. We know that all of them, have a lot of downtime when they're traveling from event to event. And so many people travel with their PlayStations or their Xboxes or whatever. They love to play the games that they're actually in. So why not let them do that against each other and have us watch them. I think that is fantastic. You know what? And maybe there's going to be some kind of cool fan involvement as well, because that's the one thing that these interactive tournaments can kind of offer to the viewers, is that they can participate. They just got to have a camera set up and log in, and they might be able to play some of these pros. I think we're going to see some really inventive programming through all of this, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And if they're also doing it to raise money for charities, I think that's fantastic.
Oh, what a shot!
All right, you guys, that does it for our rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. We've got an awesome Sunday feature coming up for you guys this weekend, so make sure you tune in for that. We've also got a classic episode of Electric Playground going up live tomorrow morning, so grab your cereal bowl and just stay in your jammies and watch that classic episode of EP from 2001. We've got lots of other content for you to check out, so please do. And if you dig our channel, please hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. Thanks for sharing. We'll see you on Monday with a brand new rundown. And until then, play forever.